All right, welcome back. It's now 7 a.m. Welcome back to the program. Now, let me help Marie. Today is People and Politics. Okay, People and Politics and Politics Confusers. All right, Iron Politics Monday, People and Politics on Tuesday. On this beautiful Tuesday morning, a rainy night, it was across the country and of course in the city. The 28th day of April 2026. We are coming to the final stretch of this beautiful month. Okay, so today, as I said, let's talk about the issue with the education. The teachers are saying that they are going to go on strike now that we are starting the second term because of the issue of health insurance. And KUPPET yesterday across the country in different regions said that it is in Kakamega, Kajiado, Nairobi, etc., they are threatening to go on strike. That's one of the issues that I want us to talk about today and how it should be resolved. Remember, just last week, the government signed an agreement with the Ministry of Health to help teachers get a proper health cover under SHA. But to them, they say there is a problem. That one. And later on, we'll also talk about the voter registration listing that ends today. IBC said that they have done 1.8 million out of a target of 2.5. That is a good one. If you ask me, that's a good one. But yes, there was a room for improvement. And that's what I want to talk about today. And what's the target? Has the Ethicon team performed now that they have been in office for a very short time? And how are they going to push forward ahead of the general election? My question is, have you registered as a voter? Have you registered as a voter? Today is the deadline. Dennis Omondi is a founder and president of Empower Africa. He's also focused on education and leadership across Africa. And so that is going to be an interesting discussion. I'll also be joined by Gibson Gesore, an advocate of the High Court. He'll be here shortly. And Mwalimu Akelo Misori, who is the KUPPET section. They'll be here shortly. Let me start by taking you through the front page of the local days. Let me start with the Star newspaper. The Star says, Kenya's nuclear energy ambition takes off in Siaya. The government intends to increase production to 10,000 megawatts in 7 years. Kenya's nuclear energy ambition takes off in Siaya. All right, that's also the front page of the Star newspaper there. It's going to be a very good ride for Siaya people. We have 10,000 megawatts in 7 years. That is a good start. Political calculations now. It's time for Gachagua, Kalonzo, Matiang'i. It's reported they're in talks with the Sifuna side before naming candidates. Siasa, sindio? See, unaelewa what I'm talking about now. Gachagua, Kalonzo, Matiang'i team in talks with Sifuna side before naming candidate. It's a point of political calculations, and it's going to be an interesting one even as we head to the polls. I can say this, until we head to the month of August, a lot is going to happen in this country. Okay. On the front page of the Daily Nation, Gachagua's U-turn. There you go. His impeachment case started yesterday at the Milimani Law Courts, and now Gachagua said that he argues hurried impeachment proceedings saw a House resolution sent to the Senate at night. And that is what he's trying to argue. According to Gachagua, he says that he was removed from office as deputy president in 2024 following impeachment by parliament. He has also abandoned his quest to be reinstated should the High Court rule his ouster was unconstitutional. But then now the case says that instead the DCP leader is pursuing compensation for the salary and allowances he would have pocketed and had he served the 5-year term, signaling his intent to rescue his future political career as he earns a fat paycheck. That is according to the Daily Nation. All right, a case there of governor wanted by MPs over suspect 14 billion shillings payout. Kakamega Governor Fernandez Baraza is among former executives of the Kenya Electricity Transmission Company, that is KETRACO, wanted by MPs to answer questions on irregular payments of 14 billion shillings in way leave compensation. Another story about Sawe, Sebastian Sawe, super shoes and supersonic marathon speed. Interesting there, another world record set by Sebastian Sawe. Okay, the front page of the Standard finally, billion shilling suit. All right. billion shilling suit. That is former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who was impeached in October 2024, had his day in court yesterday as his lawyers challenged the process, terming it rushed, biased, and politically driven. They argue that he was denied a fair hearing and raised concerns and claims of bribery and ignored court orders. If he succeeds, the case could open the door to billions in benefits and compensation claims against the state. They're all highlighted there in terms of, his tenure, etc., etc., etc. You can take your favorite paper and read more details for yourself. Dennis Omondi, founder and president, Empower Africa, is also focused on education and leadership across Africa. Dennis, good morning and welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Good morning.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Hearing what is on the front page, let me start by asking you, front page of The Star, Kenya's nuclear ambition, energy ambition takes off in Siaya. This must be close to you. Are you aware of this? What do you make of this?
Yes, I'm aware of that. And it's something that has been... I was in Sakwa the other day, and they're not very happy about it.
Yes.
Because they're saying that it's very unclear what this thing is doing. And I think they are very worried that this thing is going to take away jobs from them, and and then there's also the idea of, I don't know if I'm sure the people who are doing this have talked about it, but the nuclear waste, just a small leakage of this thing can cause a lot of harm for the people of Siaya. And so I hope that the people that are doing it, the idea is good, increasing production to 10,000 megawatts in 7 years. That's not a bad thing. But what price are we going to pay for that?
That is the question.
Yeah.
Okay. But of course, there's a lot of feasibility study that has taken place ahead of the launch of that and the power plant, that is. But look at it this way, 10,000 megawatts to the national grid, that's not that bad in 7 years.
No, that's not bad. But again, what's the price? And I think there's need to be a lot of education for the local people to be told, when they hear nuclear, they freak out. And so even in countries that have this done well, they need to really educate the citizenry. What is this about? What are the benefits for them? Because right now, I think we are in a very heated political ground right now in Siaya. And so this thing can be easily politicized and lose focus on what is really going on and the benefits of it. So I think the people that are involved need to really do a lot of education to the local people there, telling them how is this thing going to impact them, impact their daily life. Is it going to displace people?
The compensation bit
of it. Is it a fair compensation and all that? And of course, right now there's a lot of distrust with this thing. Like you look at the Ramula gold stuff in game, for example. That's a good thing. But again, the education of it is not good. And then what is being shown in media is not the positives of it, it's the negative of people.
What are we missing?
I think it's the rush of people doing things without preparing the citizenry and not really taking them as important. So this is my land. I've lived here for a long time. Talk to me. Tell me what you want to do. How is this thing going to benefit me? Because you can't just bring people from outside and displace people that have lived there. Some people there have graves of their great-great-grandfathers.
True that.
And their families. And so, and then when they protest, the GSU comes and they're beaten up, and that just puts a bitter taste in their mouth. And so these are things that need to be done slowly, and then let's make it very clear what you're trying to do to people. Don't just sneak up on them. And then I think one of the things that Siaya people are worried about is that all these developments are meant to benefit people from outside of Siaya and not people from within Siaya. And I don't think the narrative of how these things are going to benefit Siaya people
is being addressed.
They're addressing it, but it's not as loud.
So the question is how it's being addressed.
How it's being addressed, are they talking? Who are they talking to? Because you can't tell me that you have people, Game is a very big constituency. people over there have lived there for a long time, and you're talking to 7 people or 17 people or 100 people. But this thing is going to affect a whole constituency.
Yeah.
And so, and that is, and then when they protest, and then you meet that protestation with violence from police, you know, it just puts a really bitter taste in their mouth, and they don't want it anymore because it's not helping them. It is helping people that is not Sia people.
Great.
Yeah.
That is happening. I'll come back to that later on.
Yeah.
You'll tell us more about Sia and how it's going to affect. But let's come back to the issue of voter registration.
Yeah.
IBC talks about 1.8 million new registered voters in their new register, and that signals around that is around 75% of new voters new listing.
Yep.
What do you make of that? 2.5, a new commission. 1.8, that is not a bad start for Ethicon team.
No, it's not. I think for me, the issue is not just the number. Is that number, where are those numbers? You know, if the 75%, majority of that 75%, I'm assuming is in Nairobi. So I'll give an example. I'm very familiar with what's going on in Siaya, for example. As we were talking a few weeks ago, we had the Nikokadi campaign, and we went to Bondo, and we're talking to people there.
Yes.
And as I'm talking to these people, young people don't want to register for vote in Siaya. So then as I talk to them, I ask them, why don't you want to register? So the euphoria in Nairobi that you see online, for me the question is that euphoria replicated all over the country, or is that only euphoria in Nairobi, where the voting registration is really hyped, but then in other counties, it's not as hyped as that. So for example, these guys, as I talk to them, I ask these young people, why are you not registering to vote? They say, there's nothing for me. The person I was voting for is dead. You know, and so, like for example, in my county,
yes,
everybody was registering to vote for Raila. And Raila is no longer there. May God rest his
so there's no motivation.
So there's no motivation to register to vote.
Yeah.
So now we have to do civil education and tell them that we as Luo Nyanza, for example, we need to stop our obsession with national politics, and we need to start now focusing on local politics. So we didn't do research on our MPs in the past, on our MCAs, on our governors, on our senators. So what will happen, they benefited from the fact that Raila was on the ballot, and Raila was the orange party, and we had this 6-piece thing going on. So they go vote for Raila, and everybody else that is under him just gets a pass.
Yes.
You know, but now that is not there. I was talking to a Boda Boda lady, and after talking to her, she said, Dennis, up to today, I wasn't going to register to vote. But because of what you told me, now I'm going to register to vote for you as the next senator of Siaya. And so then I was like, we need to go out there and tell people the importance of voting for local leaders. Because those are the ones that are going to affect their lives every day. Your MCA at the ward level, your MP at the constituency level, your governor at the county level. Those are the guys that are going to make sure that resources reach to you or they don't reach you. Yeah.
How do you now distinguish between the national politics and devolved units? Because from what you've said, you're saying that Wanjiku should focus more on electing local leaders as opposed to the national platform.
Yeah, and there is a place for national politics, but the guy, the devolution was brought not to advance the national politics, because the national government is fine. They're going to collect their taxes, they're going to be fine, because they're in charge of the purse. So they're going to be fine. The person who's not going to be fine is the person under there at the ground level. And those are the people that this devolution was made for. So that development can touch not only Kenya, but Kenya is big, 47 counties. The person at the ground level, local county level, that person needs to be reached, and development needs to reach them. Whether it's roads, whether it's healthcare, whether it's education, those things need to get to them. And that is what the devolved government was brought to help people. Unfortunately, most of us in Kenya, we are so concerned with national politics. And then we forget that national politics is good, but it's the local politics that actually is going to help you.
Don't you think we've just been conditioned like that by the national leaders and the politicians themselves? That we are so obsessed with the national politics and forget about the devolved functions and units.
Exactly. And that is the thing that right now we need to start being extremely loud about and talk to the people and say, the president is amazing and is okay, but at the end of the day, it is your MCA that is closest to you. And so the person that is closest to you is the MCA. So the MCA should be you should actually do a research on them. You should know who they are. You should know what their seras are. And then you go to your MP. And then I'm discovering that most people talk about civil education.
Yeah.
They don't know the function of these people. So I'm having a lot of trouble as a senator. People asking me, what are you going to do for me? Are you going to build roads? Are you going to bring electricity? Are you going to bring water? I'm like, that's not the work of a senator. You know?
Yeah.
And so now we have to do civil education, even as we talk to people about the needs and the solutions for their problems on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you said, you know, national politics is amazing.
Yeah.
You're president of Empower Africa. You know
Yes.
how sweet it is to be a president.
Yes, yes. but you see, the presidency is not a title. It is a responsibility. It's a responsibility to serve the people. And I have heard people talk about servant leadership. And I think servant leadership is something foreign in this country. You campaign as a servant, but then you serve as a boss. You know, and those are the things that we need to start looking at. This person, I've been with him for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Some of them have been there for a long time. Look at them. When do you see them? What are they doing? And are they just a title, or are they a servant to the people?
Yeah.
Because the bosses, you see, the backwardness of politics in Kenya is very interesting. The boss of Kenya is not the politicians, it's the people. You know, we have this government by the people, for the people, but that's just a slogan. It doesn't translate to when you go to, actually, I should call my people Waheshimiwa. You know, but then it's the other way around. They're calling me Mheshimiwa. I'm not even in office yet.
Yes.
And they're already calling me Mheshimiwa. I'm like, no.
Wait. There's something I'm missing.
Yeah.
You're a Mheshimiwa?
I'm not yet, but I'm working on it. You know, in that sense of that title. I don't like that word.
Okay, for which position? I'm not getting it.
I'm vying for Senate for Siaya in 2027.
Okay.
I am going to be the senator of Siaya in 2027.
You just made a declaration on national television.
I did.
At 7 in the morning.
Yes. And it's not a new thing. The people of Siaya know.
We'll talk about that later on. Let's come back to the issue of voter registration. IBC says that as of 23rd April 2026, they had registered 1,876,274 new voters since the exercise began on 30th of March.
Yes.
That's translated to 75%.
75%,
and the target was 2.5 million.
Yes.
1.8, 2.5, not a bad gap. That was as at 23rd.
Yes.
Today we are on 28. That is 5 days gap, and it has been going on.
Yes.
Probably we've hit the 2 million mark.
Probably, yes, by now. But you know Kenyans, we're always waiting for the last day.
Absolutely.
We're last day kind of people. We know that the deadline is coming in a week, and we don't really worry. And then on the day of the deadline, everybody shows up.
But the IBC said they're not going to have any extension.
Yes,
no extension.
And there's no extension. But even when this thing is closed, I think I heard or somebody said that you still can register, but you have to go to IBC offices now.
Yeah.
So it's not going to come to you now. No, you have to go to them. So it's going to be closed, but there's still opportunity for people to register. And I am very optimistic that they're going to hit that number and even surpass it. Because right now, the ground is hungry, and they're hungry for a change. And something happened last year in this country that has shifted the political landscape of Kenya tremendously. The death of Raila Amolo Odinga was a very, very sad day for Kenya, but again, it's an opportunity to redefine politics the way it was done in this country. And so it is opening up opportunities for people to get more involved in politics in Kenya. Yeah.
That's a very good point. Let me ask you, what do you make of the new surge of new numbers of registered voters? Because you said, you know, for people to go out there to register as voters, there has to be a strong motivation.
Yes.
One of them was Raila Odinga being on the ballot.
Yes.
Right now, he's not there.
Yeah.
What do you think is now putting people to the race line, everybody on the track to go and get that registered voters?
I think the pain that's going on in Kenya right now, there's a lot of pain in Kenya right now. The gas prices are up. That petroleum, and that in itself has a ripple effect on a lot of things. Because for things to get from the farm to market, you need petroleum to get there. Electricity. Go look at the electricity bill from last month and this month and even previous month. There's
a fluctuation.
And you'll see there's a fuel levy in your electricity bill. Because right now, fuel, the rising fuel prices are affecting the country in an interesting way. There's the issue of capitation with school. Like this week, schools are opening. There are so many parents that are so worried about their kids not making it to school because I want school fees. And then you think about that and you're thinking, how many parents in Kenya can afford school fees right now? They're worried about that. They're worried about food. An average family in, for example, in Siaya, I'm talking about Siaya because I'm more knowledgeable about Siaya. An average family has 4 children. Okay, so 4 children, you talk about, let's say, 15,000 of the 1-year fees for their kids. That's 45,000 for a person that I talked to this mzee and he's earning 200 shillings a day. So you're talking about 45,000 to put 4 kids in school and 3 kids in school, and that's a lot of money for them. So they are depending on the government showing up for them in this capitation thing. So you kick the kids out of school and all that stuff. So the Kenyans are in pain. The Gen Zs are out there, and they're refusing to forget what happened a few years ago. Their colleagues being killed, and the big issue of the financial bill. I was hearing some Gen Zs telling me, we're not forgetting. Everybody that voted for the financial bill is going home. And I was like, really? So we are not dealing with ignorant electorate right now. We are dealing with very informed electorate. And the young people in Kenya right now are very educated.
Are the leaders reading in between the lines?
I don't think they are. You know, like, for example, again, I go back to Nyanza because that's where I'm familiar with. A lot of leaders never campaigned. You know, they come in and then they get the ODM ticket and they work so hard to get that ticket. Once they get that ticket, then what? The people on the ground are talking. They are whispering in the shadows. The problem is our leaders don't have the ear of the people because the people fear them, so they don't tell them. So people like us who are not leaders yet, we hear all of it. They are hungry. Their kids are not in school. The hospitals are not functioning for them, and all that stuff. And I feel like the leaders are blind and deaf to the plea of the people. And that's the thing that this election is going to be very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's come back to the new the registration.
Yes.
There is a national gap.
Yeah.
When you look at how it's been done, as of early March 2026, roughly 12 million people eligible, who are adults, remained unregistered nationwide.
Yes.
Nationwide.
Yes.
And according to the data, with only 22.3 million out of 34 million potential voters on the roll.
Yeah.
That's alarming.
That's alarming. And by the way, I'm not surprised. You know, I'm not surprised is because most people say, what's the point? Are we electing or selecting people?
Yeah.
Are we just going through a process? But the people that are going to lead us have already been chosen for us. So there is that voter apathy where people don't really feel like, why should I line up to register and then line up to vote? And the result has already been determined. That is what they're thinking. And so for me, I'm like, no. If you vote and if you don't vote, both of those things, making a decision to vote and not to vote is a decision. And so we need to have these people that are eligible to vote, register to vote, and have a little faith in the system. You know, I have this thing that I tell people, I say, if you want rigging in election to end because that's your concern, what do you do then? What you do is this: make it too big to rig. If you make it too big to rig, then, and how do you make it too big to rig? Go register. Get as many people on the registration and get them to vote. And that's the thing that we have to do. But if the difference is 3,000 votes or 75 votes or two votes,
can be challenged.
That's challenging.
Yeah.
It can be challenged. So the guy that you want to vote for, then get your people to go out and register and vote, because that is your power. I tell people in Siaya, kura yako ndio power yako. People are looking for power right now. The power of the citizenry is their vote. Yeah.
Come back to this. When you look at the regional performance, Nairobi is leading.
It is leading.
Nairobi is leading.
Yes.
Okay, we would say because this is a capital city.
Yep.
So many people don't want to travel back to their local villages to go and register as voters. But then come think of it. Nairobi is now leading. As at the last update, 96,000. 897, followed by Kiambu. Okay, just next door. Nairobi is 96,000. Kiambu is 46,000. Kakamega is 40,000.
Yep.
Look at it this way. When you look at the national, the top counties, does it really translate to the final voter turnout at the ballot?
Before I answer that, let me say this. Those are interesting statistics. And they're telling. They're very telling. For me, statistics tell a story. They're not just numbers for the sake of numbers. They are numbers for the sake of a story. You look at the people that you've talked about. You talk about Nairobi, Kiambu, Kakamega, and what else did you say? Kakamega, Kiambu.
Kakamega, Kiambu, and Nairobi.
And Nairobi.
Yes.
You look at those counties.
Yeah, Nairobi leading with 96,000, Kiambu 46,000, Kakamega 40,000.
So look at those counties. When you look at those counties, the people in those counties are very vocal about development in their counties because their noise has resulted into something. And they're very bold. And so you see development in those. If you look at the development in those three places that you have mentioned, compared to other places in the country, you will see a big gap. And so those guys, you see, they show up, they participate, and so you see the difference in their counties. The other counties that you didn't mention that have lower voter turnout, the problem is that now their leaders are not put on toes. So they can just coast through the 5 years and do nothing, and nobody's going to protest. In Nairobi here, man, you don't work for people, they're going to show up. In Kiambu, you don't work for them, they're going to show up. In Kakamega, you don't work for them, they're going to show up. In other counties, they're tired. They're saying, what's the point? You know, somebody gave an illustration of fruit flies. They did an experiment with fruit flies. They put them in a jar and they closed the jar. And the fruit flies were flying and they're hitting the jar. And for 7 days, they did that. So eventually, after 7 days, they opened the lid and the fruit flies stopped flying because they thought that the lid was still there. And I think when you think about what's going on in Kenya, the lid has been removed and nobody's flying because they're thinking that the lid is still there. So for me, I'm saying, start flying.
Start flying.
Start flying.
They know. I've heard that for the first time. It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's fly for a break.
Okay,
let's fly and go for a break. We'll break back.
Oh, yeah.
We'll fly back after this. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Okay, let's fly back. According to Deno, like fruit flies. Let's fly back. Okay, continue the discussion. And joining me on set is Wakili Gibson Gesora. He's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Right?
Yes.
Very good. Karibu sana. We are just talking about the voter listing that is actually ends today. Let me get your opening remarks with this because 1.8 million new registered voters listed so far out of a target of 2.5. Not a bad start for Ethicon team. Not a bad start.
I think for me, Victor, thank you for welcoming me to the show, and it's a pleasure to be on the panel with one Dennis Omondi, who is telling us how to fly.
How to fly.
It's a good way to start the morning.
Yeah.
So what I would want to say in regards to the voter turnout, I think IBC seems to be doing something right, and we need to commend them. You see, it's a new panel. Yeah. It's a new panel which is there. There's sets of commissioners, and I think the way giving such declarations gives hope to Kenyans that there is hope that Kenyans want to register and be able to participate in the election process, and that should be a good thing. Whether that turns out to the voter turnout, it's something else. But then for now, all we can say is that we are on a good stretch. Yeah. And the IBC needs to be encouraged that they have done a good job. Something I would be able to allude to that could be, you see, the voter turnout, the voter registration largely is for new people because, I mean, the former people, unless you are living in under a rock, you ought to have registered by now. So it means with the numbers we're looking at are for the young people. And that is giving a very positive vibe that our young people really want to register and participate in the election process, as opposed to previously, where there's been apathy for the younger generation, where they've been thinking that nothing will change. That means that there is something which is triggering them, and telling them all is not well. You guys need to actually be able to participate in the election process. Or somebody, they have come to the realization that through participation in the voting is when you are able to choose the leader you want or put the right person you want to put in the office so that you can be able to demand accountability from these people. Because if you never elected somebody, it's also very difficult to actually put them to account.
Yes.
Because you will be like, that's not my choice. But if, Victor, I put you in office, I will demand accountability. Yes.
That's what actually Dennis said, that Wanjiku is so informed right now.
Yes.
They are able to question and they are able to record. Actually, they are able to record all the promises that they are made. Right now, you can see on social media, everything flying. We can take you back to the days and say, this is what you said, Dennis, and this is what you said, Gibson, when you're campaigning in 2017, whatever it is. But then now, IBC is dealing with an informed lot of generation altogether. Let's talk about the motivation. 1.8 million new voters and up to 2.5, there must be an underlying motivation. He talked about, in the last previous elections, there was Raila Odinga factor. This time around, what is the factor?
The factor is that Raila is no longer there to speak for us. We have to actually speak for ourselves. We have to actually stand up.
You have to give Raila a lot of hard work there.
Yes, we need to stand up and be counted. You see, when you have a father, Victor, I always use this analogy. Nothing seems to push you so much because you know he's there. I mean, there are things he will do. Being just around is good enough. You know, I mean, you don't have to keep making. There are some decisions which you will not need to make. Yeah. But when he's not there, you have to do all the hard work of thinking. So I think this is Kenyans realizing that the curve of the father, the figure which was there politically, it's no longer there because now politically we can actually say that it was Raila and then the president and then the former president. Former president is already retired, so his role is peripheral. It's very peripheral. So that we are looking at the current president who need also to have somebody to check him. That person to check him is what we don't have. That was Raila for us, but now we need to have ourselves, we need to step up as Kenyans. Yeah. It's just a natural because power, they say power boss a vacuum. So there's been created a vacuum. So Kenyans have to move a notch higher and be able to fit into the bigger shoes of checking government, which now whoever, because every other time Kenyans, anything, even the fuel could change, they would be like, has Raila said anything? This time there was nobody to speak. So I think they tried to pull some small demonstration, it never worked. So that tells people all is not well. If you need government to account, you guys have got to actually do the work.
Okay. Dennis, what do you think IBC has done so differently? Ethekon and his team, they have not been in office for long?
I think what they've done very well this time around is we're not talking about IBC as much.
Yes.
And for me, that's a good thing. You know, you go to a wedding, you don't talk about the bridesmaids. You talk about the groom and the bride, and that's the center of the wedding. And for the longest time, every time there is an election, the people at the forefront of everything is IBC. So for me, I like that nobody knows. Even right now, you walk the streets, you ask somebody who's the chairman of IBC. Now, to begin with, his name is really hard, you know. So, but even with that, you're like, who is he?
What are you trying to say?
No, it's a good thing that people. That means that they're working. If you don't know them, that means that they're working. But you're seeing their work. So for me, I'd rather see what you're doing than know who you are.
Yeah.
And that is what, for me, that's a really good thing. That they're not the center of attention. The center of attention is actually voter registration. And for me, that's a change, and I love it. So whatever they're doing, keep doing it. We don't want you to be the center of attention in any election. Yeah.
Wakili? Because he said that you'll walk in the street and you'll ask somebody randomly, who is the chair of IBC? They'll be like, they'll talk about the past chairman.
Yes, I mean, there's been, the office has been demystified, I would want to say, by having the new guys in the office. I mean, it's true. If you ask people in the streets, you ask 10 people, hardly 2 people will tell you the full names of the IBC chairman. And as he said, that could be a good thing because change is as good as rest.
Yeah.
It means Kenyans are trying to come to the realization that it's not really, provided if it's not working, don't fix it, don't keep shouting around.
Yep.
I mean, the kind of statistics give Kenya assurance that, I mean, at least we have somebody in office who is working. And that assurance is what people need, especially at this time. The other aspect I would want to bring in is the aspect of the woke Kenyans. The people have realized it's not about IBC really.
Yep.
It's about me. What decision do I make? How can I be able to be accountable as a Kenyan and be able to demand accountability if in the first place I've not been able to do the right thing of taking a vote? And that is very important, especially for the young people. I think I need to commend them that if we keep at this game, ensuring that our younger generation can be able to actually participate in electioneering process, then most probably, because there's so much at stake for these young people, because they have their full lives ahead of them. If they desist from voting, Victor, after 5 years, you're no longer a young person. If you add 5 years to your age, it even scares you.
Yes.
So, it's I think something which is very clear to them that, I mean, a decision has to be made and has to be made now.
Yes.
And if it has to be made now, then you start the process now. And that is quite encouraging that they don't need to be pushed, because there is an aspect of young men everywhere wanting to be pushed, wanting to feel sweet, wanting to feel relevant, and not acting responsibly. So as Kenyans, we need to be proud of these young men and say that they're actually on the right track, and we need to encourage them and tell them, let them walk the talk all the way to the ballot.
Okay. For the record, IBC chairperson is called Erastus Edung Efekon.
You had to check that.
I am good. Erastus Edung Efekon, he is the chair of IEBC. But the question is, there has been a very big nut to crack when it comes to IEBC. It has always been given a very bad name, quote unquote, because election is quite, controversial in this country, world over, so to speak. Yep. But what do you think that they're trying to change to give that commission a new face altogether? What do you think they're doing quite differently? I'm starting with the lead. What are they fixing that was not there in the past?
I think for me it's the focus on the numbers of registered voters, because like you said, IBC, the trust level of people with IBC is really low. And this goes over many years before every election. The headlines is IBC. So people they don't trust IBC. And I think IBC right now, what they're trying to do is to regain that trust. Now, one of the things that they shouldn't do is hide. Because, I said, and I'm going to contradict myself here, that not talking about them is a good thing, because that means that they're not the center of attention.
For just loss of power, work in silence.
Yeah, work in silence, but at the same time, what are they doing in this silence? Are people being told what's happening? Because at the end of the day, is it just, are they hiding? I mean, they're going to show up, and it's going to be business as usual. And so that's another thing, that if I was in IBC and I was advising them, I would say, even as you take a back seat and let the voter registration be the primary focus of things, also in the background, be telling people what you're doing differently from previous years. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And then it's about the communication and the packaging of the whole commission. It's independent commission. Initially, Wakili, there was that aspect of how independent is this commission? And there had been a lot of accusations and allegations that there was an interference by the executive. that the commission was working in cohort with some of, the state capture and all that. I know we are all aware of that word, state capture. Is it really changing for Ethicon? And you don't sit in the IEBC, but from the look of things, how is it trying to repackage that independent commission?
I wouldn't be so sure what he's doing, but what I can only say is, Victor, is that when you see that the captain is well qualified, you don't have any question, his experience is right, his number of routes he has taken over that route which you are in the process is one which is does not have taints. It inspires hope. It gives people hope that, and then you don't hear of any scandals or you don't hear of any challenges which are alarming. Then it hits you that you need to sit back and relax and enjoy the voyage. So that is what I think Kenyans are doing. That is on the one bit, because I remember I said that I might not be sure what he's doing. On the other bit, I would want to say that it could be that Kenyans have realized, regardless of whoever is in office, it's really about us, not them. It's really about us, and whatever action we want to take, we need to be responsible. The only thing IBC is responsible for is for counting what I've voted, not anything else. These other things are just statistics. They are just doing their official duties. Like you can wake up every day and brush your teeth and take breakfast. That is their business. But the grand decision about how the Kenyan governance plays out is not about IBC. IBC is just to count what you've put in the ballot and then declare who has the most.
Yes.
So that realization, that political maturity for Kenyans is what, especially for our younger people, as I've said earlier, is what is encouraging to me this morning, because I'm looking at Kenya where we will need to be able to walk the talk with all our young people. Remember, why is this important to me, Victor? If you may ask me, is because our population, Kenya is around 19 years, averagely. So if our 19 to 20 years are the people taking that lead by ensuring that they're voting, then it means we're in the right hand. There's something right which is happening. There is, or we have reached that threshold where information is clear to people and people want to take responsibility. That responsibility is going to spiral down to good governance and to spiral down to accountability, because that's the biggest problem we have had for our leaders. That kind of decision is going to lead to informed leadership. It means informed people are going to be put in office. That accountability is going to lead us to either Singapore or Canaan, whichever choice we want to choose. And give us power.
It can give us power to be wherever we want to go.
Victor, I think there's something that Wakili said that I want to hang on to a little bit. When you talk about IEBC, there is fear. How do you remove fear from people? You inject information into into people, and where information is lacking, fear grows. So people are growing in fear when there's no information, and this can cut across everything that we're trying to do. And so this IEBC, and I like what Wakili said, people need to know what is their work. Their work is to prepare the country for election. The people go and vote, and after the voting is done, they count the vote and they declare who the winner is. And so those things we need to teach the young people. You have to realize those 19-year-olds you're talking about, 5 years ago, they were 14. So they didn't know anything about election. So we can't assume that people have knowledge. And the Bible says, my people are perishing because of lack of knowledge. And that knowledge, when it is instilled in people, it reduces fear. And when people are not fearful, then they are more free to express themselves and to trust. Because now I have information to compare what these people are doing. I don't know if these 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds that were 15 and 14 a few years ago know what the work of IBC is. And so I think it is upon IBC to go out and realize that the majority of the people that are going to vote in this election are are informing themselves through social media.
What do they really care about? Because Gibson, we can talk about this. You know, they talk about the constitutional change. We talked about, you know, whatever happened in the past, 1992, there was the multi-party and all that, the constitutional change. But what is going to be so different this time around? Because it's a complete lot of new voters. Yeah. We have got the older generation who are perennial voters, yes? But there's another lot that IEBC says that they have registered. So what is going to be different this time around? What is informing them?
They're informing each other. Like, for me right now, what is the source of news for these young people? It's themselves. You have so many TikTokers and so many influencers who are their age.
But they're getting that message for them to go and register voters.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Do they care? They don't trust the old people and the old systems. They trust each other.
There is a gap. There is a lack of
and so,
trust deficit.
Whatever, trust. No, there's no trust deficit. There is trust, but where is that trust in? The trust is in themselves. So
no, amongst the generations.
Among the generations. So yeah. They'll go on TikTok and say something, and by the end of the day, that's a trending thing. You know, Nikokadi, a few years ago, how do you trend Nikokadi? You know, you can't trend it because our source of information was sanitized, organized, produced information. Right now, I get my phone, I record myself, I throw it to my 300,000 followers, and they trust Dennis, that's why they're following me. And what I tell them now is the truth. So their truth and the truth. So you have to, there's the truth, capital T, and then their truth, small t. And those are the things that we need to synchronize and say, is their truth the truth? Or is their truth just a truth that they have manufactured and they're believing it?
Yeah. I mean, look at that gap and what they believe in. The younger generation and the old generation. I talk about the trust deficit.
Yeah.
You've heard of that statement a lot.
Yep.
But then how do we bridge that gap? Because democracy will still remain constant and probably at some point isoscilate from the other side of what you want. And it's not fair. It's not calm. It's not stagnant. Democracy will always shift. But then how do we bring this younger generation into the fold and tell them, you know what, people, okay, fine. Whatever happened in 1963, we are in 2026. This is what has happened. So we need to vote. Social media is here. So how do we use the conventional way of passing the message then and the social media? Wakili.
I think for me, Victor, I mean, these are interesting times. Our interesting times are already with us here. And this should be able to worry every politician, especially the current one.
Yes.
They should be scared.
Including?
Especially.
Including?
I didn't know he's a politician, but...
I am not scared, by the way.
He's salivating for something, he'll tell you.
Yes. So that should be able to scare every sitting politician, not the ones who are outside or aspiring. Aspiring, if they be able to shape their model, they can be able to tap in. It's a lesson to learn. So for every sitting politician, they need to be really wary of the current trends. They should not be able to walk into this comfortably. Because if I was to be a sitting member of parliament, I could be very worried and be out there trying to know what exactly I should be able to do to tap into these new voters. These new voters are these Nikokadi people. They're not people you are going to just sway with the promises the old way. They are people you need to talk to in a different way. And they are going to be the majority of the voters. Now that they have already registered, it means we will want to believe they will want to take it all the way to the ballot. So if you don't have their ear, then you're going to have it rough.
There's a question I want to ask of you. What should IBC be concerned about? What is so important for them that they need to focus on right now? Because Ethicon came at a time, and his team came at a time where the country is, there's so much happening in the country. What should they focus on mostly? Wakili?
It should be, what Ethicon needs to do, it doesn't actually need to do much. All it needs to do is to inspire hope and create trust among Kenyans that, I mean, is competent. That is all Kenyans want to know. All the way he needs to inspire hope. And how does he do this? First, timely communications. Like he's releasing the numbers. You know, that motivates people. It means he's not trying to hide some numbers. And then let the numbers be believable. Because once people can check. People can check. Last election, we were this number. This election, you are saying with the numbers which we have roughly.
Yeah, then you can now do the variation.
This is an error of information, so people can actually verify what he's doing. And the fact his numbers are going to be fact-checked.
Yep.
Once they are fact-checked, then that when people realize that the man is not lying, that is enough trust he will have created among Kenyans. Because for now, he needs to maintain that trust and that hope of inspiring Kenyans that he's the right man for the job all the way to the election.
Yes.
Because anything in between here which creates distrust, as we have had before, then his trust, the Kenyans with the trust deficit will creep in, and then they will have problems. And he doesn't want to have Kenyans unhappy.
Okay.
Yes.
He must be having a lot of work to do. Dennis?
I go back to the same thing, man. It's these young people, you know, in Kenya, our issue, for a long time, we've had the issue of young people are there to be seen, not to be heard. And in the last elections, they've been used as tools for demonstration and to help the older people get into power. This time, they've refused. They're saying no. You know, I'm not old and I'm not young, but when I was in high school, I was told that I'm the leader of tomorrow. Victor, my tomorrow has not come, and I'm growing older. So what I have to do now, I have to grab my tomorrow by the horns. And these young people are grabbing life by the horns right now. They are saying, I'm not waiting for tomorrow. My tomorrow is now. And so what they've done, they have, look at the Gen Z protest that happened a few years ago. That thing was very organically, there was no leader, it wasn't planned. They just decided on social media, enough is enough. We're going to go out and we're going to do what needs to be done for this country to be a better country. And you look at these kids, we call them kids, they brought the country to its knees. And now we're talking about Gen Zs. Everybody's talking about Gen Zs.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be on the good books with Gen Zs. And Gen Zs are not stupid. They're very informed, these people, man. Like, I'm looking at myself, my kids are 19 and 15, you know? And you look at, I'm becoming my dad. The remote, the TV remote, all I have to do with it, I feel so old when I say, hey, Angela, can you please come and change this channel for me? I don't know, I come out of this and I can't get back. You know, so my remote is only volume, channel, and on and off. I've become my dad, man. I used to laugh at my father. And those TVs were very simple. Yeah. But now, we are in a place where these people, let us not underestimate how brilliant and smart Kenyan young people are. They're extremely smart. I listened to some of their arguments online, and before even news has hit the mainstream media, it's already out there.
And they have the information with them.
So at 7 o'clock, I watch KBC, KTN, whatever, Citizen and all that. They're telling me I already know. So they don't watch news anymore.
And do you know who's responsible for that? Who? For their brilliance? It's Akelo Misori.
What a good segue.
He's the man who is putting all that brilliance in their heads. Yep. You are taking all the accolades. You can hear how they're talking about the younger generation are well informed, and that is because of you, but you want to go on strike. Why?
Because of the reasons that you are trying to advance in this discussion, that most of the things are not being done correctly. But that one aside, it is a very difficult process to organize an industrial action. You know, when you come here, you always talk about strikes. Strikes are categorized in so many forms, like the ones which are organized by labor, organizations like ours. There is a process. So that process must have a real reason for it. Yes. For it to begin. For example, if I take one example here, if, for example, we are dissatisfied with the manner in which our health is being organized, then we can say we cannot stomach it anymore. For us to be listened to, we must use the tool of last resort. But it has not reached there yet because we are still engaging, and I think we also want the facility to work for us. Yeah, because if we don't have an alternative, we cannot just perpetuate a standoff of that sort. That's why the youth that we teach are such brilliant. They know when the teacher says that this thing is bad, it is bad. And therefore, they now go to the extent to which that thing is bad. Like in our governance system, if it has become faulty, the youth have really learned, and we discuss with them daily that this thing is faulty because we have chosen bad leaders, or the leaders that we have chosen have chosen the right paths to do things differently. They are not following the right procedure. We have got the constitution which is not being followed, and we have got also enabling acts of parliament which are not being followed, even by the same parliament itself. Yeah. So how do you still expect the youth to watch you as you mess up the future for them?
You know one thing, Mwalimu, Mwalimu Okello Misori is the secretary of KUPPET. We started it on a high note. Yes. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
One of the biggest issues that you have is SHA, the health insurance, and the health cover for the teachers. Just the other day, you signed an agreement with the with the Health Cabinet Secretary, Eden Duale. What has changed within a couple of days?
You know, the agreement we signed was in Nairobi, and the ground where the health issues are being handled are also with the people. Our teachers are spread all over the country. They are in Turkana, they are in Kilifi, they are also in Busia, and you go to the extent Migori and everywhere, even in Isiolo and Mandera. So when we were discussing these things, the minister and his staff did not circulate the information to the health facilities. So the same issues that we had canvassed and we thought we had reversed, one of them was just the capping, what is called capping. Initially, before we had such conflict, the teacher's medical cover was capped at 10,000 per visit when you go to an hospital.
Outpatient?
Outpatient.
Okay.
But now it was reduced to between 1,200 to 2,500.
What is the contribution?
So not the contribution. That is what the capping was all about.
Yeah.
This is a medical cover, which is comprehensive for teachers, managed by a social health authority. And it is based on the budget which has come from Treasury to manage the teachers' medical scheme. And it is in the tune of between 15 and 20 billion. And you know, we don't have an epidemic in the country, but that cover is not working for us. And that is why the teachers are yelling that they want to go on strike, on the basis that if you cap our visit to between 1,200 to 2,500, and that the doctor in a private facility has taken a mere 1,500 for consultation, then it means I may not get medicine. I may not also go through MRI, which goes to the tune of 11,500 to 20,000. So in the circumstance, the teachers were overexposed. So we did agree with the minister that capping be done away with. There are some hospitals who are also charging what we call copay. That you go to an hospital and they tell you that your cover is limited. And therefore, for the excess of what we are now treating, you now should add up 50,000 on top of what we have done. And now the teachers were saying that, how then is it a comprehensive cover for us? So those are the issues which enabled us to sign that document. So we asked the minister and the social health authority to look into that. And that was why we signed that document, that the element of capping, the element of enlisting services of hospital facilities, specific ones, must also be addressed. Another issue which also happened.
Just a minute. You want it to be an open, not specific that you are supposed to go to a specific hospital. You want it to be open?
The hospitals must be contracted so that they know the limit of the extent to which they can go when they are treating. This is an insurance. So if it is left open, then people will just overuse it. Like what emerged is that some hospitals were also trying to fleece the teachers. In a visit, a teacher visits and then the hospital charges 180,000 shillings. And that hospital is not a real hospital. That hospital is not even Aga Khan. So the element of Kenyans also trying to fleece the funds to the disadvantage of the teachers who expect service was also there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to do something quite different today here. I'll allow the two gentlemen because they also have brilliant brains. Wakili, what would you ask Mwalimu? Before you do that, but Mwalimu, look at it this way. Are the teachers exposed? And to what extent? That's number one. Number two, how are you going to resolve this? Because you have got a 14-day ultimatum.
You know, those 14-day ultimatums have not come from the desk of the General Secretary. I think that is the misconception also.
Okay, you can
when
clear
teachers are annoyed,
yes,
then they are talking to the press like you. You pick what they have, but you are not going to what the law says about giving a notice if you are an organized group like us. Wakili will tell you that for us to give a notice, there must be organs of the union which must give me the authority to talk tough or to lessen my language.
Yes.
So when the teachers, through the established organ of the union, have met, and in our case it's called the National Governing Council, then I will even slap an OCPD, and I will not be taken anywhere. Because that is what it says. So now Wakili will come just to take me out of the cell, saying that he did what the law says he should do. So that is what's happening.
Wakili will help you out. Wakili, what would you ask Mwalimu?
I mean, you see, issues of teachers are issues which are close to my heart. Why?
Yep.
Teachers are more than 300,000. I don't know what the numbers is representing under Kupet are, but I know generally there are more than 300,000 teachers. And it's because of teachers that we all are here.
True that.
You don't want to, you see, like in the local schools, if a teacher misses for like a week because they are sick, those kids don't get, you might actually be told you don't come to school, stay at home. That's a week lost. So we should deal with the issues of teachers with utmost care. There's something which really breaks my heart when he says that a teacher can only access 1,200. Victor, even a village dispensary, 1,200 will do what exactly?
It's nothing.
Yeah, Mwalimu, can you
and that is actually SG comprehensive cover.
Can you address that?
You see, that is quite annoying, and I think, I don't know whether our good SG here, when you negotiate these deals, do you use professionals? Because, I mean, how do you end up getting into an arrangement with the minister who has qualified 1,200 for the teacher? I mean, even a casual worker, that money is not even enough. And these are government employees. Remember, teachers are respected people in the villages, leave alone Nairobi. I mean, when they see this very teacher is the one also suffering, the clinic cannot be able to access the medication they need, then you lower their standing in society. You don't want to do that to the person teaching your kids. You don't want to do that to the person who is setting the pace for society.
That question is very important, what is asked from a Wakili point of view. How do you negotiate this?
Now, Victor, I think let us put in perspective that the teachers do not negotiate this. You know, we come here because there is a crisis. And our negotiations is a better cover. The person who procures the cover is the Teacher Service Commission. That is the person who is mandated in law, according to the Employment Act, to either give the teacher the money to go and source for medical service or to give an insurance. Two options. So the insurance company, which is sourced by the Teacher Service Commission, is the one which has failed. We only come here now because our members are not getting that service.
Yes.
So we start asking the question. And that is the reason for which, prior to our meeting with the minister, I met the Teacher Service Commission, together with the health provider, the Social Health Authority. And we also had an agreement that whatever they were doing was not in conformity with the kind of agreement which we had been given. Because we also have the agreement. In fact, prior to that, I escalated the matter to even the head of the public service, who in practice I'm not supposed to be directly involved with, because I'm supposed to be engaged with the Teacher Service Commission. But because this is a government, and government giving the service, because the Social Health Authority is that one which is sourced, and it's a government institution. So I wanted the head of the public service to know that if in an event that we are annoyed to the extent because our members are now exposed, then they should know that the culprits are not the teachers. It is the employer and the social health authority.
Okay.
So, and the Minister for Health for this matter. And that's the reason for which we came now to tell the minister to stop this capping of 1,200 to 2,500 to revert to the 10,000, which is supposed to be.
Do you want it to be standard?
That is what was in the agreement, which we knew. The agreement between Teacher Service Commission and the Social Health Authority is that the capping of health per visit is 10,000 daily.
So why wouldn't the TSC follow that? Who's dropped the ball?
The ball was dropped by the Social Health Authority in the guise that they were protecting the cover. Because Kenyans being what they are, they decided to fleece. I did indicate to you here that some medical facilities really exhausted the teacher's cover by charging outpatient to the extent of a visit costing 186,000.
But the challenge here, Victor, with what Akelo is saying, you see, those are crimes. What he's saying, those are crimes which these hospitals, SHA needs to have a mechanism of actually singling out these issues and then dealing with them separately, as opposed to just fleecing cover for 300,000 people. And you know, for teachers, that does not mean that the person, it's with their families. So we are talking over 1 million plus people. 1 million plus people, just because maybe 2 or 3 hospitals fleeced something out of gaps which are in the system, does not make sense. So how do we get that these checks are actually put in place to avoid such clandestine decisions by SHA to just decide that, you know, we're fleecing this cover for now, Victor? The only thing we can treat you is a bandage. I mean, people are going to die. People are going to die.
And on top of that, Mwalimu, you can also answer to that as well. That at what point did you know that there is this a mismatch somewhere?
No, before I'm flabbergasted, man.
It's annoying.
How do you? 10,000 is not enough. Let's start there. Let's just say that. You know, it's supposed to be revising that things upwards. How do you? Who sat down and decided that we're going to punish the wrong person for the right crime? The teacher is not the culprit. The culprit is like the Wakili is saying, is a hospital. So then the punishment is not really fitting the crime, because the crime is not the teacher. How do you take 10,000 shillings and then because somebody else is messing up, you bring it down to 1,200? And how does that solve the problem? And for me, is this, when you talk about comprehensive cover, is this 10,000 per visit, or is this 10,000 per the whole insurance coverage for that year?
Very good point. William.
No, the teacher's cover for the entire year is not 10,000. That is basically an outpatient cover per visit. That is what a teacher is expected to have, a capping per visit in a medical facility if a teacher has gone for a medical. You know, in an insurance, they must have a capping. If it does not have that capping, then the cover may not be useful to the users. So it is capped at a rate of 10,000 per visit.
It was.
It was.
Not anymore.
No, that is where we have reverted to.
Okay.
We have reverted to that.
10,000.
And that was what was agreed with the minister when we met the other day.
So is that working right now?
That it is now working.
Okay. Good.
And then to advance to escalate the matter further, we did realize that there was also lack of information, because some of the medical facilities which were being punished for this kind of claims were being removed, and we were not getting informed. So in a region, a facility has been removed, you go there and then you are told, no, we are not accepting SHA. Now that is the language now. Not that we are being punished. We are not accepting SHA. If you want treatment here, then pay. So for that reason, we have now summoned all our branches. We have got a session of about 47 secretaries all over the country. With the Social Health Authority, for us to get the feedback, for us to revise how the facility should work for the teachers. Just like Wakili has said, when a teacher misses a class,
Yep.
even 1 hour, and you multiply by the number of teachers who have missed classes all over the country, that is a terrible loss for education in this country.
Yep.
Okay.
And therefore, if it goes to win 1 week, it is now
All right.
a disaster.
I want us to get, because of time, your word to the teachers, and again your word to the government, those two people, because there's a lot of uncertainty. Question, is there looming strike?
The teachers of this country, I'm telling them to maintain calm, not to be anxious, because we are already on top of things addressing the issue. To government, I'm just asking government to be serious, that we cannot run a system which has got a lot of rogue personnel, those people who are inefficient and ineffective. We must know that when you are dealing with teachers, you are dealing with teachers' lives. You are dealing with a national asset which must be not be disturbed. At this particular time in point, we are in the second term, and therefore the teachers need not to threaten. This is the term where learning takes place.
So let me get this from you, Secretary. So there's no strike yet?
No strike yet.
No strike yet?
No strike yet.
What are you meeting? The ministry?
We are meeting the Social Health Authority because they have looked for that meeting so that we generate understanding, and therefore we develop the way forward for our for the progress of the teachers' health curve. Yes.
Okay. I will have to leave it at that point. We'll need to get more time and then interrogate it further and then understand what really happens. We've not talked about so much. The JSS absorption, they're talking about the internship, they're talking about around 44,000 teachers, the stagnation of employment and promotion and all that. We've not talked about that. I'm afraid that we need to leave it there. There's a summit happening in Kenya and we need to attend when it comes to business and all that. So that's where we wrap it up.
And ceremonious.
We started at 7, it's 8:15.
I thought we had another round.
I know.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much. Dennis Omondi, thank you so much. We wish you all the best in Siaya. Wanasema ulapdogi chweri, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, something is happening in Siaya.
He needs to declare what is going on.
You want to go for what? Government?
Yeah, no, I'm running for Senate.
Yeah.
In 2027. Remember this name, Dennis Omondi is going to be the next senator of Siaya County.
Very good.
Remember that.
That's
for
great.
it.
Wish you well.
Go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah.
And Wakili Gibson Gesore, asante sana. Mwalimu, wish you all the best. And keep fighting.
Thank you.
Keep fighting.
I'm very sorry for being late because of when it rains, things are very bad in the road.
It's okay. It's good you've made it. Thank you so much. Okay, let's cross over